What if a single war could shake the entire world economy, trigger a Middle East crisis, and possibly pull multiple superpowers into conflict? Right now, tensions between Iran and the United States are rising rapidly. Missiles, military strikes, and threats to global oil supply. But the big question is, how did this conflict start? And which countries could be dragged into it next? Stay with me because what's happening right now could affect the entire world. The rivalry between Iran and the United States has been building for decades. One of the biggest reasons is Iran's nuclear program. The US and many Western countries believe Iran could develop nuclear weapons. Iran, however, says its nuclear program is only for energy and peaceful purposes. Because of this disagreement, the US placed heavy economic sanctions on Iran. These sanctions damaged Iran's economy and increased hostility between the two countries. But the conflict didn't stay political for long. Over the past few years, the situation has become more dangerous. Military bases, warships, and fighter jets from the United States have been deployed across the Middle East. At the same time, Iran has strengthened its military and missile systems. Then came a series of military strikes and retaliation that shocked the world. Airstrikes targeted strategic locations connected to Iran's military capabilities. Soon after, Iran responded with missiles and drones targeting US positions and allied forces in the region. And suddenly, the conflict wasn't just between two countries anymore. One of the most important players in this situation is Israel. Israel sees Iran as a major threat and has repeatedly warned about Iran's military power. Because of this, tensions between Iran and Israel have also been rising. Several countries in the Middle East are now indirectly involved. These include Bahrain, Kuwait, Oman. Many of these countries host US military bases, making them strategic targets during tensions. If the conflict spreads further, more regional powers could become involved, and that's when things could become extremely dangerous. One of the biggest fears right now is the Strait of Hormuz. This narrow waterway is one of the most important oil routes on Earth. Almost one-fifth of the world's oil supply passes through it. If Iran blocks this route during a war, global oil prices could skyrocket. Fuel prices around the world could rise overnight, and the global economy could face serious disruption. This is why world leaders are watching the situation very closely. The biggest concern is escalation. If more countries get involved, the conflict could spread across the Middle East. Military alliances could activate, superpowers might take sides, and a regional conflict could potentially grow into something much larger. That's why many governments are pushing for diplomacy instead of war. But the situation remains extremely fragile. Right now, the world is standing at a critical moment. The conflict between Iran and the United States could either calm down through negotiations or escalate into one of the biggest geopolitical crises of our time. The next decisions made by global leaders could shape the future of the Middle East and possibly the entire world. If you want more explained videos about global conflicts and world politics, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. And tell me in the comments, do you think this conflict will end peacefully or become a larger war?